Hey everyone! Today we're diving into how to fill our lives with teenage adventure thrills, enjoying the rush of the ocean breeze, pondering life's mysteries, and soaking up the warm embrace of nature. Under Frank's guidance, Mary grew up healthy and happy, showing endless love for small animals and forming deep bonds with her black neighbors. Even more remarkably, she had a strong sense of justice, like a boy bringing his handmaid zoo on the bus tripped by senior bullies. The adorable zoo was shattered in an instant, and he had to endure the laughter. But Mary quickly showed them the power of knowledge, which led to Uncle Frank getting summoned to the school again. To her surprise, the school didn't pursue further and sincerely invited Mary to the Genius Academy, as if giving her a VIP pass. They even promised a full scholarship. Yet Frank didn't want Mary to follow her mother's path, fearing a car crash. He just wanted her to fit in like an ordinary child and didn't want to overemphasize her outstanding awe. Nobody could understand Frank's stubbornness, as it stemmed from unbearable pain, while Mary didn't want to let her parents down. Even though her book throwing incident was a brave act, she still must confess before the class, violence isn't the model solution. Mary's following in a monologue again shows her EQ and charm beyond peers. Just a casual chat about terminology managed to clear the fog in the absent-minded boy's head, making the teacher's affection for her even stronger. But just when Mary started to adapt to her new environment, an uninvited guest appeared, chattering the piece. It was her grandmother. The principal contacted her via file info. Upon learning her granddaughter's exceptional math talent, she immediately vied with Frank for guardianship. Back in her youth, Grandma also dreamed of glory through Mary. But just when she was about to break through in her math research, she inadvertently chose to return home and marry a millionaire, a true-life crash scene. While that choice improved her life, it completely buried her math career, and she projected her unfinished dreams onto her daughter. Little did she know it would create a tragedy, yet she had no regrets, even blaming her daughter's fragile heart for it. From then on, she quit her teaching assistant job at the university, left Boston, and moved to Florida. 7 years made it feel like a century apart, yet the distance between them didn't shrink with simple pleasantries as they remained on opposing sides of interests. Frank was determined to protect Mary's growth, keeping her childhood free from academic worries while Grandma insisted on pursuing her ambition. In their first meeting, Grandma sought closeness with Mary, showing off her superiority, but Mary cleverly responded, moving like a ghost. She thought Grandma would back off, but to her shock, the crazy lady decided to sue her own son just to take full custody of Mary. She even brought in the most famous gold medal attorney in Boston, while Frank just called up a friend he often drinks with a rather amusing contrast indeed. Both sides launched into a heated debate over Mary's guardianship, with the prosecution questioning the legality of Frank's custody without legal permission. They even had enough evidence to prove that Frank's financial situation couldn't provide Mary with a good living environment. However, Frank's lawyer argued that Frank was raising Mary entirely respecting his sister's wishes. The child's living environment shouldn't be a ruling benchmark, and debates raged on. Ultimately, the ruling from the final trial maintained Frank's guardianship over Mary, and also granted Grandma visitation rights, hardly a win-win situation. This should be a small victory to celebrate, yet Frank doubted himself, thinking, "Am I too stingy?" The opposing lawyer's words were particularly strong, and the financial conditions indeed weren't capable of providing Mary with a nurturing environment. He couldn't even afford the piano she had been dreaming of, let alone a bed just for her. He often feared his inadequacy would indirectly ruin Mary's life. A few days later, Frank received a letter from the court. Subtitles: Approved Grandma's visit. Let Mary return to Boston for 2 days. This was Mary's first glimpse of the bustling city skyline and her first sight of her unseen mother. She finally touched piano sheets. But Grandma rushed her to MIT, no time to play. She introduced her to the 7 great problems in mathematics, goals that countless mathematicians pursued all their lives. Solving just one could earn the prestigious Fields Medal. One of the 7 problems, the Navier-Stokes equation, had Grandma feeling particularly excited because it was connected to Mary's mom's gazing at the empty nomination board. Grandma sighed. Your mother could have left her name in history. But she weakly gave up. Then Mary suddenly said, "If you want, you can leave your photo here. Here I can help you. It just takes focus and effort. If you succeed, Your name will live on forever. To test Mary's talent and self-taught achievements over the years, Grandma specifically called in a math professor from MIT for a normal distribution problem, but the professor deliberately left out 2 symbols in the equations, only for Mary to spot it immediately. The professor, amazed by her talent, wondered why she didn't expose the mistake at first. Mary, you knew it was wrong. Why didn't you speak up? Because nobody likes a smart kid, Mary innocently replied. Frank's worries about his abilities were ungrounded, as under his guidance, Mary not only didn't bury her talent, she excelled in handling relationships, and upon returning home, she immediately asked Mary if she'd ever ditch him to live with Grandma. A few days later, court officials came by to investigate, finding that Mary's living conditions weren't as terrible as Grandma claimed. The results favoured Frank, but no one expected Grandma to pay heavily for Mary's real father to testify. To direct blood ties, Mary's guardianship should theoretically be hers biological parents first. But when asked why he hadn't recognised Mary in 7 years, her father looked utterly puzzled. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more entertaining soars in knowledge.